Hi, welcome to This Expat Life. My name is Amanda Maxime, and as a certified coach, I help high-achieving expats find more fulfillment and happiness in their global lives. Because while life abroad is often amazing, it is not only rainbows and butterflies, as all experienced expats know. In This Expat Life, I open up space for all facets of life abroad and what you can do to thrive in it. And to support you in your personal, professional, and geographic life transitions, I share tips, tell relatable stories, and connect with fellow expats. Whether you've just moved abroad or you are a seasoned expat, This Expat Life is your place to find real understanding and to grow from the inside out. Enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of This Expat Life. Today we're going to talk about social things. Because I got a question recently from a woman in Mexico City, an American woman. Hi Judy, if you're listening to this. Because she also arrived in Mexico City for, I think, 2 months on her own or 1 month on her own. And I was there alone. I came there alone as well. And she asked me, how do you not get lonely when you just arrive somewhere, whether it's for a month or a year? She's like, how do you do that? Because this is the first time that I'm doing this on my own and I feel a bit lonely. And I thought this is such a great question because I'm sure other people have it. In fact, when I recently posted a Q&A sticker on Instagram asking you if you had any questions for the podcast, someone also asked me, how do you meet all your business besties? And I know this is a different angle. This is about business friends, not friends abroad. But the part of finding new people in a new phase of your life, in a new way of being, in a new country, resonates with people. And also, whenever I host my birthday party, my friends that I've known for years, they always tell me, oh my God, Amanda, there's so many new people here. How did you meet all these people? So I would love to dive a little bit deeper into this part specifically. How do you not get lonely when you're just arriving in a new place for the first time and you don't know anyone yet? And I want to share 3 things that I have done that have always enabled me to meet new people. And the first one is one that I definitely shared before. I think it was the first or the second episode of This Expat Life where I give you 10 tips to meet new friends abroad. And that is to look into Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups. So I am always a member of like expats in Mexico City, expats in Rio, digital nomads in Rio, foreigners in Brazil, those kinds of groups where I know there's going to be lots of foreigners hanging out here. And I'm not doing that because I only want to meet foreigners, but it's because when you are a foreigner living somewhere, you're more likely to welcome new people into your life. You're more open to meeting new people than the ones who are from there or have lived there for a very long time. Because this is what I've noticed every time I'm abroad. People who are abroad, they remember what it was like to arrive there for the first time. And so they're more open to helping you. They're more open to connecting because they don't have that really big social circle yet, or maybe it's big enough, but it's not like it used to be at home. So they're still open to meeting new people. So that's why I go for the foreigners. And sometimes also because of the language and lifestyle differences, it's easier. So I always look at, if I go somewhere for a longer period, those Facebook groups of foreigners, expats, digital nomads in a specific city or country. And then I go and post there. This is a thing you really should do because I know a lot of people are members of these Facebook groups, but then they just look in the group like, oh, is there any meetup that I can join? But sometimes there isn't. And I remember when was this? Well, after the pandemic, I wrote in a group in The Hague, like, hey, is anyone another freelancer entrepreneur because I quit my job and I started my own coaching practice, but I'm working all the time from home alone and I'm a bit lonely during the day. And within a week, we had like 35 people who wanted to join. And no one was posting about this in the group, which gave me the feeling there are no other solopreneurs here in this group. But then when I actually posted it, I got a lot of response. So you don't always know what people are looking for. Maybe you just need to be the first person to reach out and start the conversation, start the activity. So if you're just looking at posts in a Facebook group and conclude, there's nothing here for me, you might be wrong. So I really suggest you actually go and post something. Make it specific, make it like include the things that you really like or how you are, because if you just put a general post like, hey, does anyone want to do coffee? Sure, you will get people, but these might not be your people. And then you're not going to enjoy yourself over brunch or coffee or a walk. And so be specific in who you are and what you're looking for, because that will attract the right people and will repel, in a way, the people that aren't right for you. And you don't want to be just hanging out with anyone. You want to be hanging out with your kind of people, potential friends. So that is tip number 1, those Facebook groups. And I want to highlight one in particular, and that is Girl Gone International. And this is like, I don't know how to call it, a global group or movement. And they have chapters in all kinds of cities all over the world in Facebook groups. So it's like Girl Gone International The Hague, Girl Gone Rio, Girl Gone International Rio. And this is specifically for women. And often they organize certain activities once a month, perhaps. But depending on the city, there's also a lot of like interaction between people without the organization organizing anything. So you're very welcome to organize something yourself. I'm also a member of not just like foreigners in Mexico City, but also foreign women in Mexico City. So I specifically look at female groups as well, because I feel it's a bit safer in a way, and they're more inclined to help each other, and it just feels like a warmer place to be in usually. So this is my number 1 tip. Find those groups, post there, and go and meet people. I am not the most social person. I'm an ambivert. I like my alone time. I am not super like social and chatty with new people all the time, even though my podcasts here are always so long. And I have to kind of push myself sometimes to actually go and do it, because I'm very good on my own. So I don't naturally feel the need sometimes, but I know I need it. So I push myself a little bit to make an effort to hang out with new people through those groups. And I've always met wonderful people. In Mexico City last time, I met a British girl, and she was there for a couple of months. Every winter, she goes to a warmer country to escape the British cold. And she started 1 or 2 years ago a tradition of organizing weekly brunches. And she always invites people that she likes, like, hey, every weekend I'm going to organize a brunch. Might be Saturday, might be Sunday. We explore different places, but you just know it's going to be there. This is our WhatsApp group. And then over time, a nice core group starts to form, and there's always 1 or 2 new people that join. So it's such a lovely tradition, something so nice to do. So maybe this is something you want to start as well. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to ask your friends, your global friends, if they know anyone there that you can meet up with, that they feel like, okay, you two could be a match. So I had a few friends who said, oh, I know someone in Mexico City and you should meet this person. And so I met up with them. And that is very nice, because in a way, there's already a filter of your friend deciding whether you two should meet, and it's easier. And this is something I always like to do, especially when I just arrive, because they often have tips for me, or they know the city or country definitely better than the average traveler. And so that's always really nice to meet up with them. So ask your global friends if they know anyone. In fact, I often post this, not often, I've done it twice. I have posted this twice on LinkedIn when I moved to Rio for 6 months, and now also when I spent some time in Mexico City. I just asked my network, like, hey, do you know anyone that I should definitely meet up with for like personally, but also professionally? Someone who could use an expat coach, or a company that wants to work or do something more for their expats. But also personally, like, do you feel I should be co-working with someone? Do you have any tips? And I always got really nice contacts there. In fact, the tips I got from Rio led me to a voluntary job. It led me to really, really nice friends in Rio. So ask your network if they know anyone for you. That is tip number 2. Then tip number 3, this is only for the single expats among us, because I would actually recommend going on the dating apps. Not necessarily to find the love of your life, but of course, that is the ultimate goal, at least it was for me. But to go in with a sense of, I just want to meet new people. I just want to meet local people. I'm curious to getting to know this culture in a better, different way. And I did it again in Mexico, and the pressure was off for me because I was just like, I'm not here to find the love of my life per se, but my one and only goal is to get the city in a different way through different people that I wouldn't meet regularly. And I go in with such an open, curious mind that everything it's almost anthropological, is that the word? Everything that I, experience is interesting. It tells me something about the local culture or the international culture in a city there. And, dating in Mexico City is very different from dating in the Netherlands. So it's interesting. And this is why I do it as well. So if you are single, and actually I met quite a few people in Mexico City, a few women who stopped hanging out on the dating apps because they were just so sick and tired of it, and they had bad experiences back home or in other countries. And so they were like, I don't want to try. I like my peace. And I totally get that. But I had great experiences in Mexico City, great dates, not with people that were the loves of my life, but they were respectful, and we had such a pleasant time, like just a nice date and really nice conversations. And yeah, and I was like, but you might be missing out. And so they started going on the dating apps because I kind of infected them with my enthusiasm and this curiosity that I brought with me to the dates. So, and in fact, one of the dates I had, he turned into a friend because we weren't a match romantically, but we really enjoyed having conversations about Mexico, about entrepreneurship. And we together discovered the city a little bit because he was also pretty new there, staying a similar time. So, you never know what it can bring you. Maybe it's the love of your life. Maybe it's a wonderful new friend. And maybe it's just a really nice way to spend an hour or two. And again, this is just about you meeting new people and not being lonely. And not to fill a hole inside of you, and that's why you need to go dating. But just with this sense of let me explore this city in a different way. That is tip number 3. I would actually love to hear your thoughts on this, because I know that every time that we in the podcast speak about dating and relationships, it really resonates with you. And I also know from my clients that they come in with a certain question around their career, location, but then often underneath it, there is a relationship thing as well, because they're single and they really want to settle down and start a family, or they want it in the future. And so it already impacts their choices, or because they're in a not so great relationship. So I know this topic is really relevant for a lot of you. So I would love to hear what you think of this tip, and if you have tried it as well whenever you went abroad somewhere. You can reach out to me on Instagram via Amanda Maxime, or on LinkedIn, or through email. That's how you can reach me. I'd really love to hear. I'm very curious. And maybe this will inspire you also to give it a try and go in with this open mind and see how you can be surprised. So that's it for today. 3 tips to not get lonely after first arriving somewhere new and meeting new people. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and talk to you soon again.